Welcome to the Therapist Book Club, where two therapists dive into their favorite books and the powerful mental health themes they uncover.
Whether you're here for literary inspiration, therapeutic tools, or just some lighthearted conversation, you've found the right place.
So get cozy and let's dive into the pages together.
We're here for another episode, and we're back with children's books.
Yes.
We love children's books. We're back to talk about some children's books that help with mindfulness.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why we should be teaching kids about mindfulness.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if you have a kid that you're trying to teach about affirmations, if you have a child with ADHD who's trying to learn how to slow down their mind or their body, if you have a child with worry who's trying to stay in the present moment, what am I forgetting?
My thinking was going towards that, like, anxiety and worry of like they're projecting to the forward, to the future, and they're having a hard time being here now.
Yep. I'm like, if you have a kid who has frequent stomach aches and headaches, mindfulness might be
even anger. Like, anger causes us to react really quickly.
Yes.
And if we can stay mindful, that can help us like do something that's not harmful when we're angry.
Yes. And this is not going to be a comprehensive list that we're covering, right? We just have two quick books that we're going to share that will just be foundational, introducing mindfulness to kiddos, right? The first way I personally introduce mindfulness to a child is through the use of affirmations. Affirmations are just a grounding statement. It's like if we're doing physical grounding where we're looking around the room, we're trying to. Affirmations are a mental grounding activity for children to land on something. They can use these statements to feel better, to boost their mood, to feel better about themselves, to build confidence, to come back to the present. But also, when we're doing breathing exercises, sometimes I'll have kids, particularly my neurodivergent kiddos, saying the affirmation in their mind while they're breathing in and out to ground their, just kind of be an anchor to the brain.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it gives their brain something to hold on to.
Absolutely.
And even as adults, even adults who struggle with like a meditation of some kind, having an anchor sound or an anchor word or phrase is very helpful to stay focused on the meditation, and especially when the mind wants to go.
Have you seen the movie Eat, Pray, Love?
A long time ago.
I know. I was like, we should read that book again. You remember when she's in India and she's learning to meditate, and there's this scene where she's having such a hard time. She's distracted by everything. She's like, what, looking at the clock. And then finally she kind of settles in and she's so proud of herself. She's like, I did so good. And she looks at the clock and 3 minutes have passed.
Yep.
I think even adults, we can feel like that. Meditation can just feel hard. And with children, we're not teaching them absence of thought, absence of feeling. I'm just teaching them to come back to what their body's doing, what their brain is doing, what the emotions, what's happening around them, and just kind of settle in.
Okay, show us what you got.
So I have this book. It's I Am, a Celebration of Mindfulness by Wilson. And this just is like a quick and easy way to introduce. This is like a first session thing I'll do with kids. If I know that they're coming in, like, so for other therapists, sometimes we know our kids are coming in with, like an intake questionnaire filled out. If I've read it and I know this is a child that could benefit from mindfulness, I'm going to read this with them. It just starts with taking a breath. And then slowly letting it out and imagining everything that we are. Because a lot of times kids who are coming to therapy, they're really fixated. I'm going to say even like specifically my neurodivergent kids, they are really fixated on what they are. If they are bad, or if they are forgetful, or if they are. And that is one thing I really like about this book. And then they're just I am statements, a whole bunch of I am strong, I am smart. I am learning. I am curious. I am happy. The kids always love this spread. It's for those who are listening and not watching it, it's animals on there, like cute little sea otter floating down then I am zany, monkeys, and so it's just a really fun book to get through some of that. But at the very, very, very end, it ends with I am me. And so it's a great conversation piece for parents even, like, if you're buying this at home, this is, therapists can hear where, what we use this in the session for. In my very first intake session, sometimes I'm also giving them a piece of paper and I'm giving them stickers that have affirmations on it.
Mhm.
Um, or if they're able to come up with their own stuff, they're just drawing, but I'm having them write down I am statements about
Yeah.
themselves that help me understand them.
Yeah, I was just thinking that would be so fun to have them draw like a portrait of themselves or some sort of drawing of themselves with I am statements that they like. They could pick some from the book, they could come up with new ones, and that could be like a great way for you to get some insight into their self-perception. I
Yep.
love
That's how I use it in like for that rapport building. And if you're a parent and you're reading this, it's just a great way to start introducing affirmations at your home and a great way to start discussing self-esteem, self-image, how we see ourselves, and so on and so forth. So,
I love that. It's making me remember when my oldest was like 2 or 3 learning to talk. He was still in that like early speech phase. And he was really struggling with feeling scared to do certain things like climb to the top of the back of the couch or like, I don't know, just jump off from something that seemed too high. And we gave him I am statements and we had him rehearse them. And he, even to this day, the other day, he was going off of a jump on his dirt bike and he paused. He got mindful, he paused, and he said, I am strong. I
mhm.
am brave. I can do this. And he like got ready with his little throttle and just zoomed on and did it. And I think just that moment of like settling into himself and saying those words helped him have the confidence to go off and do the thing that he was nervous about.
I love affirmations for kids because my daughter, same. When she was going to kindergarten, it was hard. She was my kiddo that cried every day. And we started saying, actually, I should say it probably, I actually think it started at daycare,
Mhm.
like her preschool beforehand.
Mhm.
And if you, to this day, I will say, oh, wait, but you are Jilly Hope. And she'll finish, and I am brave and strong.
Aw, that's cute.
We did, just a quick tip because I think we could spend the whole episode on affirmations for sure,
Yeah.
right? A quick tip, one thing that we did with that was, it was preschool, that's right, 'cause I took Jilly to Build-A-Bear, and you know how you can put a little recording in the bear? I had her pick out a bear, she stuffed it, and then she recorded herself saying, "I am Jilly Hope and I am brave and strong." So when she was at preschool and anytime she was concerned or feeling worried, she could push that button for a little reminder.
Mhm.
And, the bear's name was Fifi, like, we still have Fifi to this day. Fifi is, something she still has and pushes the buttons as an almost 8-year-old, pushes the button to hear a reminder anytime that she needs it.
I love that. And there's something different about the child saying the words themselves than by saying, Jilly, you are strong, you are capable, you are brave. Like it's more powerful for her to say that
Yeah,
about herself.
yeah, I made sure for me, I think she wanted me to say it when we were recording, but it needed to be her to say it.
Mhm.
Hear her voice say that. And it's fun that we hear little, like, 4-year-old Jilly's voice, saying, "I am Jilly Hope, and I am brave and strong," and so
Cute.
what book
Okay.
did you read or did you
So
bring?
I brought a Listen Like an Elephant, and this is on the top corner it says mindfulness moments for kids. So I'm wondering if this author has other, oh yeah, on the back there's a breathe like a bear. So she
Oh,
might
I
have
have
to,
that book.
do you have that one?
And
So
then
this
she
is
does hot cocoa, the hot cocoa breathing too.
is it the same author?
Yeah.
So this one is just using an elephant to kind of guide you through
Love
the
love the
importance of
illustration.
listening. I know it's beautiful illustrations if you're not watching, but lots of color, fun fonts. Um, her really big elephant ears hear so many things. She can hear things from far away, and then the kids get to practice where are your ears, and they can start to like tune into where their ears are, let them listen to what they can hear around them, building in breathing with listening, holding your body still, and then move. There's some movement in here, moving back and forth. So this is just another step to engage the body in the mindfulness practices of being able to hearing, being mindful with your listening is a really powerful tool. It gets you back to now. So
Yeah, because all the physical grounding is based on our sensory, right?
mhm.
All our 5 senses. And actually, I was just thinking it's harder to introduce sound to our kiddos, for me personally, in the office, because I'm like, I've controlled the scenario to where it's nice and
Ah,
quiet,
yes.
and I was just thinking of, my daughter has her hearing stuff, right? And so we are really fixated on hearing. We talk about hearing all the time.
Mhm,
And in her OT sessions, she has worked a lot on utilizing hearing and like taking control of hearing.
mm,
So what is the stuff you like to hear, or what are calming sounds,
mm,
and recognizing what kind of sounds might be hard sounds that she might hear, or not
mm,
calm
mhm,
sounds.
mhm,
And so I love that too, because with the mindfulness, I think recognizing how to utilize these things that are built into our bodies.
mhm,
I think that's so important for a kid to recognize. Like that would be a great conversation for any kid that has autism,
mhm.
and they might be, or like autism some well can have a higher occurrence of auditory processing disorder, like my daughter, and they can be overly hypervigilant around their ears, right? And sound doesn't have to be scary or painful if we can communicate what feels comfortable for us.
Yeah, so if you're mindfully hearing or mindfully listening, you'll more quickly be able to recognize this is too much for me. This is
Mm,
too loud. I don't like this. I'm going to do something to alleviate that discomfort. But if you're not mindful in that, you might just become very overwhelmed and not understand, why do I feel so icky, so gross? So this
yeah,
would be a really good skill for those with that kind of processing disorder or autism, whatever, ADHD, even maybe some neurodiversity could
I
be.
think anxiety, take an anxious kid and you send them to like an assembly that's super loud and crazy can
Yeah.
be too much.
Yes.
And I like what I really like about that book. I'm gonna have to actually buy it, because what I really like about that book is it just pieces it out.
Mhm.
Like those books about sensory processing are always like about all senses.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about what you said is like, so for my daughter, assemblies can be really tricky, but when we think of like presence and mindful, if she can recognize that the sound is bothering her, she can go look for her skills to help her, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes her brain is like, "Oh my gosh, that was loud." Like a fire alarm goes off. "Oh my gosh, what's happening? What's happening? It's terrible." And like her brain is not present with the moment versus the fire alarm. "Ow, that's a big sound. I need my headphones."
Yes.
Or
Mhm.
so I will say that's maybe a really big skill for a kid, and it's something they will need to
Yeah.
practice a lot.
Yes.
But I love having a book that introduces, so as you're flipping the pages, what I noticed about the book is they were quick, small snippet
Yes. Very
sentences,
short words. Mhm.
which I think changes, so the pacing of that book seems very slow,
Mhm.
very relaxing, like that
They're
rather
asked to
than
take their breaths throughout the book, so they're
time.
calming their body while you're
Wait,
reading to
stop
them.
on that page. I loved that page too because it has all of the, like, onomatopoeias.
Yes, pop, sh, thud, whoosh, screech, ding, snap.
Um, So if you are a speech therapist hearing this podcast, this is a great book for some of those, s you know, pop was the first thing our speech therapist taught my daughter,
Oh, really?
because you can act it out, and I don't actually know why, but for a lot of reasons, I don't know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I love this one. This one, this one used to be on the rotation actually in our home for bedtime stories, just to help kind of calm and
right?
soothe right before bed.
Yes. Yeah, I love that book because, yeah, so Jilly, a lot of her therapies revolve around, like, if your child is hard of hearing or has any hearing struggles, we forget that, like, focus and concentration is impacted
Mhm.
highly by that, and so she has to very intentionally listen to
Mhm.
people and learn behaviors that support listening, whereas, for you and I, our brain, I mean, we just do it,
Yeah.
right? And so that's a great book. I really love breaking it down. I'm just thinking I'm gonna have to go look it up too, because I'm like, a taste book would be great for our kids that have
Yeah,
ARFID to just start discussing like just that sensory piece and
let's
like
see.
really hone in.
Mindful moments books. Breathe like a bear. Hot cocoa calm. Bunny breaths. I think that might be all of them. It's just the four. like breathing.
We'll have to
Yeah.
hopefully she'll come up with, because I was like,
Mm,
I can imagine, but I'm getting fixated on listening like an elephant
I know.
just because I'm in that world of, developmental, disability or things like that. I'm in my family's in the non or hard of hearing world, and, that would be such a great book just to kinda introduce that intentionality with the listening and
Looks like she has one, Peaceful Like a Panda.
oh, that sounds cute.
Yeah.
I do like this author. She does
Yeah.
really great, um, illustrations.
All
Well,
right. Well, I hope that gives you guys some place to start with kind of introducing mindfulness to kids. And if you guys have any great ones, let us know and we'll share them out as well. Okay, we'll see you next time.
yeah. Time.
Thanks for joining us on the Therapist Book Club. We hope today's conversation inspired you to explore new stories and perspectives.
Don't forget to follow us for more episodes, share your favorite books with us, and join the conversation on how books and mental health connect on our social media channels.
Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and remember, your story matters.